the very essential equipment that makes this program run. Know that you can find out all the wonderful things that happen here in the Fishtown District at fishtowndistrict.com. You can, of course, see Kae hard at work. Watch her. But she is smiling. There. Hello,
Hey,
Kae.
hey.
Say good morning to everyone.
Good morning.
I don't want to slow you down. I could see the smoke coming from the keyboard. You keep typing away. But you can also find us streaming at the Fishtown District on Facebook and on our YouTube channel, and for anywhere you gift your ears to hear all things super. It is a beautiful day outside, though I think they're calling again for more flooding, more rain. So we encourage everyone, especially for my people, and Happy New Year to everyone that is, begin building your ark and look for animals walking 2 by 2, so this way you don't get caught like last time. Last week was a bear. And today's title of our episode, I'm going to try that again. Not everything is perfection, okay? Sometimes you stumble a little bit, but you know what? Even my stumbles are a gift. By the way, our producer, Matt, here as always. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning, guys. How you doing?
Matt?
Yes.
I think by our wardrobes today, which we'll talk about, it could only mean one thing.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Sunday's kickoff. It's
Wait,
Eagles time.
I
Yeah,
almost
Eagles
wore an Eagle shirt today, guys.
Why was it
Why
almost
wouldn't you?
and not you
I
did?
have Eagle shirts picked out for each day until Sunday.
It's literally on my bed. I'm really glad I didn't now because I didn't want to match you guys.
We would look so cool.
Why?
We would be like a team.
We would look like a gang. You know, the very but like a very tough gang, like in Greece, the T-Birds.
It's a bird gang.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. I mean, very exciting. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, but very exciting year ahead. But nothing beats the excitement that is the All Things Fishtown District. And of course, the title of today's show, we're going to get to our guest in a little bit, is Feast Your Eyes on the Fishtown District. And of course, we're talking about, do you like that?
I like that.
Yeah, that just
Did you
came
come
to
up
me.
with that all by yourself?
All by my lonesome.
Wow.
And then I literally passed out from exhaustion. There was a lot of work.
Understandable.
It was a lot of
Yeah.
work for my brain. But we're going to have the lovely and talented Skip Schwartzman, one of the founders of Feast Your Eyes Catering, one of the premier locations for both insight and on-location catering venues that you can have no matter what the party, what the event. No one can do it better than Feast Your Eyes. We're going to hear all about all of their accomplishments, the things that they do, and their commitment to the community. But we're going to feast our eyes on really each other today. By the way, if you want to call in and be part of the magic that is Find It at Fishtown Live, give us a call at 888-329-3306. That's 888-329-3306. Matt, you're probably still full of backlog of calls from, of course, bloomers in the garden. So I think Kae and I are prepared to answer any gardening soil questions that may be out there.
I don't know
That's
if I
actually
can
a
handle
replay
those.
of their Saturday show. This show.
How many
comes
shows do
on,
they have?
Well, it's on Saturday, but we do a replay of their Saturday show.
Because there's such a demand.
Yeah, they're pretty popular.
I can imagine. Understand that my people aren't really known for digging. We did cross a desert, and you're welcome, world. But I will say this, that, and I do, by the way, love those guys. Their banter is beyond compare. We love to be part of the team. But really, you should be replaying our show quite a bit, Matt, if you think about it.
You guys get a replay?
What's this?
You guys get a replay? I think it's tonight.
We don't get weekend replays, do we, though? Because think about it. Like when people are lounging, maybe sitting on the beach or outside, or as Kae and I do, give back to the community on many numerous ways, whether it's pursuing my first love, helping the homeless, or Kae helps invalids to their dialysis machines. I think nothing would inspire. By the way, thank you for that, Kae.
That's what I do.
Every weekend.
I had no idea.
Well, because you want to know why it doesn't feel like work. When you do something you love, it just feels like it's, it's part of who you are. It's fun. But like on Saturdays too, people would love to have that. Oh my God, it's Marc and Kae again. Thank you, God, for this gift to my ears.
Well, what they could do is they could go to www.dbam.com. They could listen to all your previous podcasts, and they could have like a Find It in Fishtown marathon all day while they're on the beach drinking whatever they choose to drink.
Could be whatever beverage they choose,
Anything,
right?
yes.
Yes, Kae.
Or they could go to our YouTube page and find our Find It in Fishtown playlist and watch all of the videos back to back to back without pressing any buttons.
Look at that.
That's like a treat.
Yes.
Because we're almost at the point, and we have enough episodes like you could do like a marathon.
Oh, yeah.
Whew.
Imagine that.
My God, that's early Christmas and Hanukkah, everybody.
Looking at Mark's face for like 24 hours straight.
I don't know that I could do that. And it's on my face. But seriously, as we sit here getting ready to take the walk, of course, to our favorite place, I want to make sure I formally introduce the Toto to my Dorothy. You like that one?
I like
and
that
you know
one.
who
I
that
know that
is.
one.
Of course, we're talking about the lovely Kae Anderson. Kae, I'm just going to kick it right off to you as I saddle up the unicorn, follow the sunshine, as we all take that magical trip, by the way, which is free, of course, to Kae's Corner.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? Stop what you're doing and listen.
Nobody.
Listen to me now.
Pay attention, honey.
Kae's Corner.
Hey.
And was that your Barry White voice?
I tried.
Yeah. Hey, hello, and good morning. So what's happening today, Kae?
There is always a lot going on over in the Fishtown District.
I want people to know, by the way, before she gets to all that fun, what Kae had to endure to get here today. Literally every driver from every other state decided to drive slowly in front of her.
Oh my God, it was awful. It was awful. I swear they were driving straight across like all 3 lanes of 676. They were like, "Nope, Kae, you're gonna have to get ready in 5 minutes once you get to the station."
Yeah, don't
That's
worry.
the type of day.
Yeah, and by the way, I think because what the public wanted more is to hear an hour just of me. So,
I should have been a little later.
You did everyone a favor. So, but we're glad you're here. We're glad you set up. And what can we look forward to in the corner?
So, before we get into everything that's going on this week, I wanted to give our listeners a little bit of an update because we had some businesses open and reopen. So if you guys were not aware, Jinxed has officially reopened on Frankfurt Avenue. They're at 1331 Frankfurt Ave. And if you didn't know, Jinxed has a great Instagram presence, so you can always find whatever they have in store on Instagram. But you'll even find cooler things if you go in and shop the store. So check them out. They have tons of home goods, vintage finds, and really eclectic art.
In fact, you know what? Now that I'm moving to the fabulous
you have
Fishtown
an
District.
apartment to furnish.
Yes, I do. And it's literally right across the street. So I have to lift
how perfect.
nothing. Yes. I've spent my life avoiding manual labor. I don't intend to pick it up now.
Are you hiring movers?
Already hired. Are you kidding me?
The next time I move, I've decided I'm going to take that leap.
I'm just doing movers and my very expensive moving luggage are trash bags for clothes.
Oh, wow. Okay. I don't do that to my clothes. No.
My clothes are, pretty fine. So as the world knows.
Anyway, we also had a new restaurant open up recently.
Where's that?
That is also on Frankfurt Avenue. I believe 1832
Yes.
Frankfurt Ave. Ooh, look at me go. And that is Izakaya by Yanaga.
Yes, you got it.
Yes. Oh, I did it right. And that is a sushi inspired restaurant. They have tons of fresh seafood, fish. Mark, were you able to try it out at all yet?
Not yet. Next week, the 14th, I will be trying it out. But we were lucky enough to have the tour.
Absolutely.
with the owners the other day.
And what's that drink that they were telling me about?
The
Highball?
highball. I was going
Yes.
to say Boilermaker, but that's not it. But it's a gin highball, I believe.
I'm very excited about that. If you know me, gin and tequila are my 2 favorite drinks.
Everyone knows that.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And if you don't, you should.
Well, every bar actually has the little note, K Gin.
Yep.
In fact, that's your new nickname, Cajun.
Cajun. I'm spicy. Ooh, we're on a roll today. So in addition to those two openings, we always have tons of fun events that you can come and enjoy the Fishtown District, see it for the first time. And this Thursday is a great one to try.
Which is?
Evil Genius is shutting down Front Street again. And we're going to be saying this again and again and again. They are having a food truck festival on Thursday evening. So they'll have at least 6 food trucks out there, a ton of different types of food. So you can come on out, try some food, grab a silly beer. Well, serious beer with a silly name.
There you go.
Yep. And, enjoy the night.
And the weather should be perfect.
It absolutely should be.
Unlike today.
Yes.
Even though it's beautiful now.
It's supposed to get bad.
Is it?
I don't know.
That's what I heard. Matt?
I'm going with you.
You're our reigning meteorologist. What have you heard?
I heard what you heard, that it could get bad. I'll bring up the weather right now, and we'll give you the official Find It in Fishtown Live
weather forecast.
That's
important.
Yeah, starting at 11 a.m., we have a 15% chance of rain. It goes up to about 37% starting at 5 p.m. And around 11 p.m., we have a 79% chance of rain. So it looks like at night it's going to gradually start to rain, or the chances of rain will be higher, and maybe we'll get some rain. And maybe, if we're lucky, 676 will turn into a river again.
Exactly. My U-boat's all ready to go.
Awesome. So you're not the one that jumped off the bridge into
I jump off nothing.
Okay.
Let's be very clear. So Kae, are you going to go to try Izakaya? Besides the highball, I mean, they have food too.
Yes.
And I think you should.
I really like really fancy sushi. Like, I'm not a gas station sushi type of gal. But the really fancy sushi, that stuff's really good. So, especially if I'm going to be eating raw fish, it needs to be coming from a place that I actually trust.
Thank you, Cleveland. So what? Now do we know when Jenny's ice cream is opening?
I tried to find a date for that one, and I don't think.
I see the sign.
It's
all
signs.
ready to go.
Yes, I think that they should be opening soon, but they haven't announced yet.
And I heard.
What is this show without the sound effects?
I love that. That's awesome. But I have to. Do you know what that's from?
No.
You don't know who that is?
It sounds like Will Ferrell or something.
It was Eddie Murphy. That's Eddie Murphy from. Was that Delirious?
Yeah, I believe that was.
It was his first comedy special.
He asked that question. You had the person from the ice cream place.
Weckersley's.
Yeah, he asked you the same question.
And I got it wrong again.
Yep.
You said, I don't know. It's okay.
That's fine. I'm a slow learner.
But we did hear, I met with the general manager of Brooklyn Bowl, opening up at 25 East Allen Street right now.
Yeah, I'm excited about that one.
We expect that to be in November. So we have another entertainment fun center to go to. Not surprising it's in the Fishtown District.
Of course not.
In fact, probably in the corner as well.
Of course, because where else would you go for entertainment besides the fabulous, wonderful Fishtown
District? If I left
District?
my house, that's where I'd go.
Of course. So back to the events, because after the food truck festival, Evil Genius is not done.
No, what?
And there's an important game this weekend, so I've heard.
Yeah. You think?
So
how are those going to work together, Kae?
There's going to be an Eagles tailgate.
And
over
that
at Evil
we're
Genius.
doing with them.
Yes, we are.
Well done.
And that'll be September 12th, again on Front Street between Cecil B. Moore and Palmer. We're going to have some big screens out there. We're going to be blasting the game loud. Some tables, chairs, plenty of places for you to enjoy the game with your whole family, have a beer, all of those fun things.
It should be a great day, great anticipation for the season. And I want to clarify something Kae said. The volume will be at a very reasonable, moderate level that will affect no neighbors whatsoever.
Oh, yes, of course.
Of course. That's going to be
Until we
fun.
start doing the Eagles chant in the middle of the street.
Well, hopefully they give us a reason.
Maybe the neighbors will just join.
Yes, exactly.
So the other thing that I wanted to mention to everybody is we do have another Sips for Students coming up.
Woohoo!
That is going to be on September 24th with Hugo's at the casino. So I'm very excited about that one. Mark, do you know exactly what they're going to be bringing as far as tasting?
I don't know.
libations?
It's a surprise, but I know it's a special from the chef at Hugo. So this is something, and please visit our Facebook page at Fishtown District. Sign up for our newsletter at fishtowndistrict.com to learn how to get your tickets. But you can only go and get this special treat by signing up and getting your tickets. So please join us. Should be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. And that's all for me in the corner.
That's a lot.
I know. I did a lot of research yesterday. I was prepared this morning. That's why being late was so annoying. But anyway, I did get an extra little bit of time to decide Kae's track.
All right.
K-Trap. 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 K-Trap of the week.
Word.
So like I was saying last week, I've pretty much gone through most of my like super regular musicians at this point. Like the people that I just, shoot a text over to and book. So now I'm getting deeper into the Rolodex.
Like this.
Of Philly greatness. And today we have...
Is it the Roots? No. Oh.
I'm trying to spotlight folks that not everybody in Philly knows.
Oh, okay. Got it.
So today we have Bianca Ingram with a song called All For You.
Do I even have to say it to you? Do I even have to pull you aside? Do I even have to do it to you? Boy, you know you even on my mind. Set it off when you step into my room, boy. I've been patient, I've been waiting for you to come home. You're hopping overseas ballin'. Don't you come up in here, you're stalling. Make up for last time, go all in. I'm ready. You're hopping overseas ballin'. Don't you come up in here, you're stalling. Make up for last time, go all in. I'm ready. I'm all for you. I'm all for you.
That was Bianca Ingram with All For You.
The message I got is that song was all for me.
Absolutely.
Which
all
is
for
pretty
you,
much
Mark.
every message that I got. That song was awesome. People were sort of grooving in the hallways there. I actually saw even Matt sort of move his head a little bit.
Ooh.
Which is a big reaction from Matt.
It's hard. I got a big head. It's hard to...
To move it?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, she has a lot of Beyonce vibes on that track.
I like that.
It was nice.
Very well. Good call. Again, nailed it. I'm sensing that's going to be our next moneymaker. The best of. Hold on. Sounds like the cavalry is coming, doesn't it?
That's our fans
Matt,
beating down the door.
I just made a new sound effect. You're welcome. But basically, it's the best of Kae's track of the week, which would be all of our tracks of the week. So looking forward to that. Thank you, Kae. And as always, we're going to stay in the corner to finish the show today. But before we go to our guest who is patiently waiting and wondering why he ever agreed to do this, we've got to play America's favorite game show, What's Marc Wearing?
Oh, hi, Marc.
Hi.
What are you wearing? What are you wearing? What are you wearing today? What are you wearing? What are you wearing? What are you wearing today?
And What's Marc Wearing is brought to you by Fabulous Fabrica, F-A-B-R-I-K-A, the greatest entertainment venue created in the history of planet Earth. Of course, located in the fabulous Fishtown District. For all types of shows with fine dining, you got to reserve your ticket now. Go see Fabrica. Kay and I have both been there, actually on a couple of different occasions.
Absolutely.
And never disappoints, both from food, spirits, and again, it's entertainment like you've never seen before. I guess that's the best way to explain it.
Yes.
Burlesque, there's acrobatics, there's music.
Dancing with fire.
There's dancing with fire. There's umbrella balancing. It's all there.
I saw a snake.
What? In here? 'Cause I'm out.
Not in the corner. It's fine, Marc.
Oh, thank God. But before we take our break, and of course, Matt and I got the memo today. Big game this week. Kickoff. The Nick Sirianni, Jalen Hurts era begins. We're talking about the debut of the Philadelphia Eagles season against the, I was going to say mighty Atlanta Falcons, but they're not. So today, I'm keeping the button-down theme, but this is sort of the button-down jersey of Eagles rookie Devonta Smith. Why are you shaking your head, man?
It's just amazing how you find these things.
They find me.
It's like it's a jersey, but it's not a jersey.
See, it's a little fashion-y.
I'm just laughing. Did they mean to put the extra G so
Yes.
that you pronounce it
Eagles.
Eagles?
Eagles.
Googles.
Eagles. Because I believe the child labor in Asia that made this shirt, decided to really emphasize the G in Eagles. Yes. I actually find that more appealing.
I feel like that's how Philadelphians say it anyway.
Yes.
So they knew something.
It's
they were
more
onto
like
it.
if it was how Philly say it, it would be spelled Iggles.
That's true.
Yep.
But he's the first round pick, Devonta. What's the name of your fantasy team, Matt?
Devonta's Inferno.
There you go.
Oh, I like that.
There you go. Heisman Trophy winner. We expect big things. So, of course, everything's got to flow today. So, though I can't show you the boxer briefs that are Eagles themed, we can show you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. The Eagles chucks and my Devonta Smith socks.
Ooh.
So we're ready to roll. If I'm ever needed to be called in, and God help Philadelphia if they're down to me, I'm all ready to go. And I want to make sure everybody knows that Matt also got the memo and he's got his Eagles hat. And of course, Art History 101 Jeremiah Trotter Axeman shirt. And this is when Kay goes, who? Do you know who Trotter is?
No.
He was alive and playing when you were
I'm
alive.
sure he was.
He's still alive.
I wasn't.
He's still living, but not playing.
I was never a huge Eagles fan growing up.
And we'll be right back with how to feast your eyes in the Fishtown District. We'll see you back in 2 and 2.
It's been part of Philly for over 10 years, so Rivers Casino Philadelphia knows how you like to play. With better odds, more playtime, an upgraded rewards program, plus a state-of-the-art sports book, great restaurants, and more. Everything that real players want, without the overpriced distractions. Rivers Casino Philadelphia is for those who play to win, not play to pay for some fancy new place. Rivers Casino Philadelphia, always on our game. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Really? And skip.
Want me on your team just a little bit. Take a look around, you can see they're all
And skip. You can skip songs, but don't skip the doctor's office. Talk to your preteen's doctor about how to safely come in for their well visits and recommended vaccines. Really? And skip.
A public service announcement from Vaccinate Your Family in collaboration with Merck.
This place has a pulse.
You hear it in the canopy, feel it in the ground. Life, fully illuminated, engulfs you. From the birds singing in the treetops above to the tiniest insects in the soil below. You take a deep, cleansing breath, filling your lungs with the essence of the forest. Now, imagine it's all gone. Healthy, life-giving forests reduced to nothing. No singing birds, no lush canopy, and water and food in short supply around the world. Time is running out to protect our forests, and without our love, they can and will disappear. It's our choice. Love it or lose it. Help protect our forests. Visit World Wildlife Fund at wwf.org/love.
Happy, joy, happy, joy.
Welcome back, everybody, to Find It Fishtown live here on WWDB 860 AM. I'm Marc Colazzo with my co-pilot, Kae Anderson. Kae,
Yes.
who's presenting this show today?
This show is brought to you by the fabulous Fishtown District.
And what can you find there?
You can find everything from retail, eating, drinking, and entertainment.
Phew. And how can they find out all the great things we have in the Fishtown District?
They can go to our Facebook page, Fishtown District, or go to our website, fishtowndistrict.com, or check us out on YouTube.
Nailed it.
Fishtown District.
Awesome. By the way, I always love our commercials. So right before we came on with Happy, Happy, Joy, Joy, it talked about the destruction of the planet and forests. I thought now imagine life as you know it over. Happy, happy, joy, joy.
We have the best timing on this show.
We do. And without further ado, we want to bring to you one of the really great people of the Fishtown District. He's fed thousands. He's entertained thousands. He's made your special event perfect. And no one does it better than Feast Your Eyes Catering, located in the heart of the artistic district of the Fishtown District. And we are lucky to be joined by one of the founders of Feast Your Eyes, Skip Schwartzman. Good morning, Skip, and Happy New Year.
Good morning, Mark. Good morning, Kae. Same to you. Lashana Tova.
Thank you for being so patient for a half hour of our nonsense before we got to you. You really hung in there.
Oh, just been sitting here enjoying the show.
Well, thank you. So, Skip, you have one of the more unique entities in the Fishtown District. Tell you how you and your wife, Lynn, founded Feast Your Eyes, and what was your goal when you found it?
Well, we started decades ago. We started in the early 80s. We had both been in restaurants, Lynn much more so than me. And the decision was to go into catering after looking at restaurants and realizing what the startup costs were at the time for us. Lynn had some requests at the restaurant where she was running in West Philly, and that's what got it started. So we started catering there. Our first commercial headquarters was in South Philly at 11th and Latona, where we had a storefront in a building that we bought. And we were there until 1988, when we moved to Northern Liberties. We bought a old industrial building there that we redid into our kitchens and offices. And we were there for 20 years, and then moved to Front and Palmer, just off Fishtown, at Front Street. And that was, we moved in October of 2009. And we've been there ever since. It's been great.
And we've certainly seen all the great work you do and the beautiful facility you have. What's the mission of Feast Your Eyes that really sets yourself apart from the other caterers throughout the region?
Well, we're extremely food-centric. Lynn has a long history in the food business. She's our chief culinary officer. And so we have somebody at the top of the totem pole, so to speak, whose primary focus is the food. And then after that, it's really top shelf service, both in terms of taking care of clients before their events, which for the off-premise events especially involves a lot of planning, much more so than the on-premise, where you know what the room is like. And during the event, of course, and then after the event, which has also logistical issues when you're off-premise, working in tents or people's offices in Center City or anywhere in the area. We travel from as far as down the shore. We've been to New York City. We've been to Washington, D.C., out to Harrisburg. So the traveling and logistics part of that off-premise work is also a large part of the service that gets provided.
How many employees do you have now?
Now we're in the high 20s. Pre-pandemic, we were mid 40s full time.
And before we get to the obvious hardships from the pandemic, tell us a little bit about the growing pains you had. Again, Lynn, you tell me you was in the restaurant business, and now you're taking on this kind of new endeavor. Tell us about what it took to build your concept and to market that to make it what it is today.
Well, catering in all its forms is often confused with being a restaurateur, which we're most decidedly not. We don't pretend to be able to do what they do, and they're really not familiar with what we do. For us, you have a wedding of 150 or 200 people or a corporate event, and we're serving 200 people in 20 minutes. Restaurants don't do that. And so the demands are very different. At the same time, because we don't have a physical presence at Front and Palmer, of course we do, but prior to that, off premise, it was a little bit difficult to be taken seriously as a real business because there's not a something they can touch as off-premise caterers. So for a long time, that was a bit of a challenge. Obviously, we were younger when we started, so being taken as a serious business was a little bit difficult. The other thing is that catering is different than in a restaurant in that you go to a restaurant to see what the restaurateur's vision is of dining and of the food, and catering is really more about being a prism for your client. And clearly we put our own spin on things, but people come to a catered event to celebrate whatever the occasion is, whether it's a family's life celebration, some change, wedding or mitzvah, or baby naming, or if it's a corporate event, it's an opening of a new space. So our events are really about our clients and not really about our restaurant, so to speak. So it's a little bit different in that regard, and getting people to understand that our job is really to reflect them.
Did you have one client or one event that you said to you and Lynn said to yourselves, all right, we got this. Now we're this is going to be what we're going to do for the at least long-term future?
Not really that I can think of. I mean, the types of successes are very different. You can have small events that are very intimate that really knock it out of the park, and then you have large events. When we've done 10 and 12,000 person events, and don't misunderstand me, I'd love to have 10 and 12,000 person events more often, but they also have their own types of success, obviously different than the intimate events. So it's really more about doing what we come in to do, whatever that bullseye happens to be, and nailing that, as well as having the client feeling great about our having nailed it and they're been able to enjoy their own event.
Awesome. So talk to us a little bit
that sounds a little wishy-washy, but it happens to be true.
Talk to us a little bit about your venue space at Front and Palmer. I know I've been inside and it's beautiful, but I was curious, do you know the history of that building at all?
Yes. The building was owned by Seaman Brothers barrel makers. The main building, the building that is 3 stories, the single story building next to it, I do not recall the name of the man who owned it, but originally it was a pickle maker. Actually, the Northern Liberties and lower part of Kensington, Fishtown area was really the pickle capital of the country for quite some time. Kissling sauerkraut got its start in Northern Liberties, in fact. And so the word that we heard from the fellow that we bought the building from, who did not know these guys directly, but he understood the barrel maker and the pickle maker hated each other.
That's what World War I started, Kae.
Oh,
the same thing.
Yeah, they were probably, and then somebody commented they were probably cousins. But Seaman Brothers was there from the 1800s. They had a single story building. They had a fire in the early 1920s. We have the records for that, newspaper reports and so forth. And then they built the 3-story building that's there now. Some houses were torn down. We have photographs of the original building and of Front Street before or as the L was being built. Wow. All of Front and Palmer. So the barrel maker was there. I'm not sure when they stopped working. Obviously, not a lot of demand for barrels, or less decreased demand. We bought it. It was vacant.
Mm-hmm.
Both sides were vacant. They had been combined into one property sometime way before we were ever there. It was vacant. It had been used by someone in the pallets business when we came in. So when we came in, there was no water service inside the building, minimal power inside the building, and pretty much everything you see except for the structural walls we put in when we came in.
Wow. So what was that renovation process like for you? Navigating that.
Harrowing. We bought the building 14 days after Lehman Brothers went belly up on Wall Street.
Oh,
So
wow.
the banking climate changed dramatically, as you might imagine.
Right at the time you were trying to finance a rehab.
Exactly. It was.
Oh, wow.
It was many sleepless nights, I can assure you. But with the help of our bankers and with PIDC, shout out to PIDC because they've been helpful to us in many ways over the years. We weathered that storm and came through. We knew when we came in, the old Mercado was across the street,
Mm-hmm.
where Kensington Kappa is now, although the Mercado had been closed for some time.
Mm-hmm.
When we came in, we knew that the high school was coming in. So that was a really good signpost for us about changing in the neighborhood. And we saw Temple moving eastward along Cecil B. Moore when we first scoped out the area. So we had really good feelings about the South Kensington Art District, as it was called at the time. And we saw things starting to happen on Frankfurt Avenue. We knew Paul and William from Johnny Brenda's and Standard Tap from years because our place in Northern Liberties was right across the street from Standard. So we were early patrons there. We used to have Monday night dinner there every night with our daughters.
Mm.
And of course, we also knew Bill Russell, whose studio was on Frankfurt Avenue in Fishtown, because Bill's studio previously had been on 2nd Street, right near our shop on 2nd Street in Northern Liberties.
Oh.
So,
Everybody comes to Fishtown. Okay, have you noticed that?
Everybody comes to Fishtown.
And Bill's still there.
All roads lead to Fishtown.
Absolutely.
We're going to put that on the brochure, Skip, with your face, with the bubble coming out of it. Oh, by the way, if anybody has any questions for our guest, Skip Schwartzman from Feast Your Eyes Catering, give us a call at 888-329-3306. Before we take a quick break, where does the time go? On your website, Skip, it talks about Feast Your Eyes' commitment to sustainability. I'll get it right. Why is that so important?
Well, we just see our existence in the community as part of a larger fabric than just what we're doing. We started recycling when we were in Northern Liberties in the 90s with cardboard and glass. We used to have pig farmers come in from across the bridge in Jersey to pick up our scraps for the pigs. That didn't last real long because we didn't have enough for them to make it worthwhile. But they came in. We were part of the farmers market when it started at 2nd and Poplar in Northern Liberties, and then also there was an early farmers market at Palmer Park, a block away from us over on Frankfurt Avenue from Front Street when we were at Front and Palmer, and all of these things we see as part and parcel of being, an integral part of our neighborhood. One of the things that we did at Front and Palmer when we came in is we installed a solar array on the roof. This was in 2008, 2009. Because we felt it was the same kind of thing. It was the right thing to do. It certainly made sense financially in the long run. So all of those things, BioWare for our takeout orders have been something that we've been doing for 20 some years. And that's become increasingly easier as more options have been made available to everybody. We just did a wedding Saturday night, in fact, where they used bamboo plates rather than china with the same thinking in mind. So it's part of realizing that you don't operate in a vacuum, that you're part of a larger picture.
Well, that's what sets you apart. And what sets us apart is we got to pay bills. So we're gonna, Skip, if you could hang with us, we're going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back with more Find the Fished Out Live.
It's been part of Philly for over 10 years, so Rivers Casino Philadelphia knows how you like to play. With better odds, more playtime, an upgraded rewards program, plus a state-of-the-art sports book, great restaurants, and more. Everything that real players want, without the overpriced distractions. Rivers Casino Philadelphia is for those who play to win, not play to pay for some fancy new place. Rivers Casino Philadelphia, always on our game. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Teachers shape the future. Right now, in a classroom somewhere in the United States, there's a teacher inspiring a future scientist who'll make preventing pandemics their life's work. Sharpening the mind of an aspiring environmentalist who'll help combat climate change. And generating possibilities for a student who'll be the first in their family to graduate college. Explore a career that leaves a legacy you can be proud of. Teach. Learn more and receive free support at teach.org.
After I got out of the Marine Corps, coming back home, it was just a mental breakdown for me. I was on the verge of giving up. That chapter, that season in my life was over. Now what? Who was I? That's what I kept asking myself. The pressure to have it all together, to heal, to quiet down the monsters inside, it was too much. I lost it. I had heard about the Wounded Warrior Project. I had seen the logo and that visual of a warrior carrying another warrior. The programs that the Wounded Warrior Project offers, it's not just the veteran themselves, it's their whole family. It brings it all together. We have scars that we carry, and just because the scars are there doesn't mean that we're any less than what we were. Right now, I'm the best version that I ever have been of myself. I can embrace the brokenness.
You wouldn't go into battle alone. You don't have to fight this alone. Visit woundedwarriorproject.org/notalone.
Happy, joy, happy, joy.
And it is time for more happy, joy here on Finding the Fishtown Live on WWDB 860 AM. Brought to you by the fabulous Fishtown District for all things special and awesome. Go no further than
the Fishtown District.
And where can you find all the great things about the Fishtown District, Kae?
Fishtowndistrict.com.
Oh, my God. Music to my ears. And that, of course, is my lovely co-host, Kae Anderson. By the way, Kae, another monumental achievement here on Finding the Fishtown Live. Your father has the broadcast up on his television.
He sure does.
Well done. You've made it.
Yep, I have.
It's all
I'm on TV now.
The picture's all over. Like it was Allentown, right? Yep. That's right. My daughter's on television. This is why I always say to my son, by the way, any of your friends' parents have their own radio show? Let me know. Anyway, as we're bragging, we're listening to, of course, one of our favorite people, Skip Schwartzman at Your Eyes Catering. Thanks for hanging in there, Skip. So, Skip, if you want to talk about an industry that really took a big hit during the pandemic, it was yours. And certainly you and I have talked and know about a lot of your frustrations. What has it been like, and how are you guys doing now?
We're doing much better, thank you, and thank you, for your help during the worst parts of the pandemic. Catering's back. Caterers are busy left and right. It's not just us. The strongest area so far has really been weddings, as people are finding that they can get back together again with family and friends and celebrate. There are people planning for the future, near future for their weddings now that they're able to make stronger commitments. People whose weddings have been postponed are looking for dates, so there's a clamor for dates. Even the floods that you all mentioned just a little while ago have caused some problems for some venues, and we happen to be high enough in lovely Fishtown that's not an issue for Front and Palmer. So we have people looking for dates there as well because they're not able to have their weddings in the next few weeks. Staffing is always busy. Anybody out there that has front of house or back of house experience is looking to pick up shifts, please give us a call at Feast Your Eyes. But we're like everybody else, trying to make things go for staff. And things are rolling along. We're of course hoping that all the mitigation efforts become unnecessary sooner rather than later. But in the meantime, everybody's making do and being able to celebrate even in the face of having to, pay attention to vaccinations, et cetera.
So
we're doing fine.
Do you think that this is going to be a lasting impact and completely change the catering industry forever? Because you're talking about, weddings now that can't be planned a year or two in advance because we just don't know.
Well, I mean, people are planning a year or two in advance. I mean, we've had requests for wedding dates in 2024 at this point.
Oh, wow.
So people are certainly making plans, and I believe that there's a strong confidence that this will fade into the background. I think that seeing what happened when July came around and the end of the mitigation efforts at that point, which of course we've had to reinstitute some of them because of increases in cases and slowing down of vaccination. But you saw how quickly the restaurants got filled again once people were able to go to them. And I think that I don't mean to be rosy-colored glasses about it, but I think that once we get back into not having to have mitigation efforts, hopefully sooner rather than later, I think we're going to find that a lot of this is going to fade pretty quickly in the public's mind. Humans are social animals, and there's a great drive to be able to congregate together, whether it's in clubs or bars or at catered events.
Skip, do you find that people are even planning larger events? There was a time I was married and, we had a couple hundred people there. And are people over the reluctance to do those type of things or plan those now?
It varies a lot. I think we certainly have weddings that are taking place that are in the 150 range, and people planning for, a couple hundred. A little noise here in the background, some construction in my neighborhood. They're definitely, I mean, the events that we're doing are not all smaller 50-person things. They're 125, 175, 200-person events are still taking place.
How do you see the future for Feast Your Eyes? What's next now that we knock wood and we're all knocking the lovely Formica table here? What's next for Feast Your Eyes?
Well, we're looking to continue to pick up where we left off pre-pandemic, really, and it's going to be piece by piece. The next step, I think, for our industry in general is the resumption of corporate entertaining. There's less demand for that than there is for weddings and so forth, and a little bit greater reluctance. That's fading. We're starting to see a lot of inquiries from quite a few corporate, and in which I also include the nonprofit sector. They are slow in in July and August. So there was not a great amount of that coming back that early once we were able to cater indoors again. But now that we're in the early stages of the fall, we're starting to see a lot of increased interest in planning those events for the corporate and nonprofit market. So that's really going to be the next step, I think, is to see that business come back, which is more Monday through Thursday, whereas the private catering for personal reasons is more, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So it'll be the next steps for us. We're going to be filling back in the Monday through Thursday business.
So let's talk a little bit about Feast Your Eyes' greatest hits. What are some of the maybe notable events that Feast Your Eyes has been part of, whether it's in Philly, the region, or beyond?
Well, there's notable and then there's notable. So there's notable that's
a good point.
There's the notable that's public that I'll mention a couple of jobs, but there's also the notable that's more personal. And of that, I'll mention a job that we just did in July down the shore. A man proposed to his girlfriend Saturday morning down the shore. Her parents have a house down the shore. The family knew that the proposal was coming, and they planned a surprise. What was a surprise only because she didn't know about it before the day of an engagement, a surprise party for the announcement that night at their house. And so we had the rentals, the tables and chairs and so forth, delivered to a neighbor's house. They went out to go play tennis early in the morning. We showed up at the house, moved everything over to the house, got the party ready. She came back to the house having been proposed to at the tennis courts of all places. And then we had the party that night. Now, that by itself is kind of sweet and it's nice. But the thing that makes it notable is we also did the baby naming for this young woman for her parents some 31 years earlier.
Aww.
See, that's the reaction that they want when they tell the story.
So
that's perfect.
And we have a number. We also just did a wedding of somebody whose first Holy Communion we catered this summer also. So there are a lot of notable events like that for us. There are caterers, and I understand their reluctance to be involved in weddings and family events because there's a different type of anxiety that goes along with them. But Lynn, my wife and partner in the business, and I really find those kinds of jobs notable because of that. And so we're happy. We're more than happy. We're thrilled to be a part of it. It's very meaningful for us. Larger events that were more notable. SAP, the software company. This was the job we did on Logan Circle in front of the Art Museum. It was 2000. We did 10,000 people outside for them, and it was the night before Hurricane Floyd. That was very interesting. Earth, Wind, and Fire played. Trucks got stuck in the mud, and everything got pulled off successfully, and was all good. That was noticeable, and that's also the night when they had fireworks from behind the Art Museum and never told anyone in the neighborhood. So that set up a new paradigm for the city and their how they interacted with the neighborhood around the Art Museum. We've done a large number of jobs that were like that. We did Penn's, the closing of Penn's capital campaign years ago. That was 12,000 people when they opened Penn Park. That had never really been used for an event before. That was very exciting. There are a lot of jobs like that that are large, and so they're notable for that.
Did you do the dinner en blanc, or were you part of that as well?
The dîner en blanc. We've done
That's
dîner
it.
en blanc. Yes, we've done dîner en blanc, the all-white picnic event that happens in a surprise location. The attendees don't know where it's going to be until they get brought there that night. We've done that now for the last 3 years. So of course there was none last year. And that dîner en blanc, I guess 2 years ago, celebrated their 30th anniversary from the first dîner en blanc that happened in Paris. What that was there were a group of friends and extended friends who decided to have a picnic outside in a public space. And in order to recognize each other, the agreement was they'd all come dressed all in white. And everything they would bring with them in order to have the picnic would be all in white. And then it became a more formalized thing. And it's now an evening, as I said, in a surprise location. People who buy tickets do bring their own food, or they can get it from us, as the case may be. They bring their own tables and chairs, their clothing, tables, chairs, everything's supposed to be white. There are competitions for the best outfits. And it's really pretty magical. There's entertainment, there's music, there are street performers. There's a lot going on, and it's really pretty magical. Like, I think there were 3,000 people on Rittenhouse Square this summer, all in white. I don't use the F word very often, but it was pretty fabulous.
And so you didn't expect that. Well done by you. And I think what's great to even hear about that, Skip, is those types of events that we know everybody looks forward to. We're seeing them again, and it's great for the industry. It's great for people. And if people want to hire you and find out more about Feast Your Eyes, where can they go?
They can find us online at feastyoureyeschatering.com. That's really a great jumping off point. There's also a site that's strictly for Front and Palmer, our venue in Fishtown, and that's Front and Palmer, A-N-D, not an ampersand, frontandpalmer.com. And of course, they can always call us and write us. The numbers and email connections are at both those sites. So it's feastyoureyeschatering.com or frontandpalmer.com. And yeah, we're excited to be back. I will mention one other thing about the dîner en blanc as well as other things. The guests' willingness to be masked when appropriate, to come in and all be vaccinated and show their cards. Really, the cooperation that we found in that has just been great. So we're very glad that our attendees and our hosts, for whom we're really doing the job, have been so cooperative in that respect. It's been very heartening.
Skip, thanks for being with us today. Thanks for being part of the Fishtown District and being part of really the renaissance and development that's happened in our area. And we look forward to not just working with you, but all the great things you're going to do in the coming days, weeks, months, and years. So thank you again.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Kae. We appreciate everything the bid does for us in Fishtown. It really is tremendous and makes for a much greater experience for everybody, both the businesses and people coming to Fishtown.
But we appreciate you. Send our best to Lynn.
Thank you very much. Take care now.
See, now that's how you end. First off, on time.
Mm-hmm.
You get right out. You get the compliment.
Mm-hmm.
And before you know it, you're going to hear happy, happy, joy, joy. By the way, love the sound effects that Skip did not know that he was giving us.
They were so timely. Every time.
And one was like right when he said something about a pig. It's perfect. But Skip's awesome, and what they really are a significant part of what we do. I've always joke with them that my third marriage will be at Feast Your Eyes. I still haven't had my second one yet.
But the third one, that's the charm.
Exactly. So thanks, everybody. Thank you, Kae, for another really award-winning show. The Smithsonian's here ready to take it with them. So, Matt, thank you. Go Birds. And
Go Birds.
Thank you for listening to Founded in Fishtown Live here on WWDB 860 AM. Have a great rest of the week.
Happy, happy, joy, joy, joy. If and you ain't the granddaddy of all liars,